Hello everyone, Kevin from KTech Services, back again for another educational digitizing video. Today we're working with Wilcom. I have the digital edition version, but you should be able to follow along. Today's video is going to be on small text, two color basically. I had a question from a customer. It's like, how can I go about doing a, like a two color stitch, but with just like an outline stitch and having the inside negative of the color of the shirt. And I thought, oh, okay. And but I use Illustrator. So I'm going to be doing a video on this one will be under Illustrator, and the next one, the same video I'm going to do, I'll do it with CorelDRAW, how to set the artwork up. So and then actually importing it into Wilcom to digitize. Okay, so let's get started here. So we just have obviously this will be a 3-inch logo, for left chest, etc. Just to outline stitch. How would I go about setting up the artwork so I could bring this into Wilcom and digitize it? Okay, so I'm going to bounce over to Illustrator. Okay, and so we have our Illustrator open here. So I'm just going to do a file and a new. Okay, I'm going to just do a letter, and I have mine set to inches. Of course, you could set it to whatever you like. I'm going to go ahead and say create. Okay, so I have my designing area. I'm just going to go start clicking there and typing KTech. Voila. Okay, I'm going to come over here. Now your Illustrator might be set up a little bit differently, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to follow along. And I just have my text editor open here and on my toolbar. And I'm going to go to the width, and I'm just going to go ahead and set that to 3 inches. Okay. And I'm just going to move that into the center. I'm going to zoom in so everybody can see properly. Okay, so now we have to set it up we have to get the outline stitch. So what I'm going to do is go over to the stroke. I'm going to say 3 points. So, and then I'm going to go over to the fill section, click on that, and then we don't want, I want to say no fill inside. So it's just the outline. Excellent. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font to Arial, AR, there we go. Okay, now I'm touching right here. I would like to space that, but if you can understand how to work that a little bit better, go for it. But we have to kind of drop it down in a different mode so we can import this over into Wilcom. So I'll show you a different trick that I do to kern that. Okay, so the next thing is basically I just want you to know that the ends are straights. Now, of course, going for the size factor that we're digitizing this for, it'll be fine. But let's say I wanted to do this for a back. I can, just so you know, I can curve this. So I can go to the stroke and say corners, and I can curve it. So now those corners are curved. Okay. Again, that'd be more for a jacket back. Maybe I want it to be like that or not. It's up to you. But let's leave again, if we digitize this, it's not going to matter at the size factor that we're going to digitize it for. But so we'll just leave it. Yeah, we'll leave it. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to size out a little bit. Okay, so now we need to kind of convert it so we can get into the language that we need to actually import it over to Wilcom. So right click on your mouse and then go to find create outlines, or in Windows Shift Control O, and then now we need to do one more time. So basically inside of it, right click and then find ungroup. Okay, and now they're individual letters. Okay, so I can actually, but so what the trick I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on that. I'm going to use my left arrow on my keyboard, and I'm going to move that apart a little bit. Ta-da! Okay, so now we're done. Okay, we're done. We got the artwork set up. Now we just need to save it to a file format that we can actually bring it into Corel. Because with Wilcom is partnered with Corel, so that it works a little weird compared with when you're working with Illustrator. So this is the best way that I found that you can import artwork over the easiest. Okay, so we're going to go and save or export and then export as. Now I have it set to SVG, which I found works the best. I'm going to save my artwork. Yes, because I've already have done this. Everything here is fine. Let's just say okay. Okay, so now we're all saved. Uh, now, of course, with Wilcom, you should have some sort of Corel. Even if you have, I have the latest version, but if you have, it should have been packaged with it, hopefully, to do this because Wilcom has a weird different way of importing vector artwork over, but they mostly use Corel. But in this way, this is the way I found that works best for me. Okay, so I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go Import. I have mine set to SVG. There's my file. I import over into Corel. Voila. Okay, so there's my artwork. Okay, from here, I'll just imaginary box or select all, how you want to do it. And then I'll just go to edit and copy, or I have it set to Melco. Under the design and machine format, there's all kinds of different profiles for every pretty much type of commercial machine there is, and some home machines, but mostly commercial. But depending on what you're working with, a Tajima or a Baron or a Melco, etc., you just select that. Now mine's always set to Melco, and it just has those parameters built in for those machine types. Okay. All right, so now we're ready. So I'm going to do an edit and a paste. So okay, I just imported that vector artwork. Okay, and if you see over here now, I have on my Wilcom here, I have my object property box open, and I have my color object list. And usually that's in this toolbar up here. Everything has balloon help, so you should be able just to kind of hover over it and turn it on. It's kind of nice when you have dual monitors and stuff like that, but if you don't, you'll have to kind of scrunch everything a little bit. Okay, so obviously we have our vector information, click off it, and then obviously I could click on each one of these elements. Each one is a different element, or if I click on this little icon, it will select all for you. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and auto digitize this. I'm going to click on the Instant Smart Design tool, which will auto digitize everything. Okay, perfect, good. And then usually I'll go and I'll hit the green. Just always when of course you could change your colors depending on which color you want it to digitize in, but I just click on the green to kind of show things here. All right, so make sure you save your files. KTech, just kind of make sure you always have your artwork saved in case something happens. So the first thing, now the auto spacing. Now with Wilcom, you have to make sure that the letter is highlighted when you want to make changes to the element. Because right now I'm not highlighted on anything. So if I start making adjustments, it isn't going to do anything because it's just phantomly adjusting nothing. Okay, so in Wilcom you must make sure that everything's selected. Now, right now the K is selected, so if I adjust this, it's only going to adjust that letter. Okay, I want it to adjust everything, so make sure. I usually will click on the icon on number one. That'll select all of them. They're all highlighted. Now if I make changes, it'll do it to all five pieces. Okay, 90% for this example is going to be fine because of the size that we're dealing with. Okay, let's go over, let's go to pull comp. Now, it has nothing in there because obviously it's all selected, but I want it to be 0.3, so that's what I want. So I want it to be a little bit fatter. So now it actually applied everything to each element since I had them all selected. Okay, just so you just know that. Okay, so that's what I like there. So let's see. And then obviously when it comes to the lock stitches, the lock stitches are already, there's a lock stitch, there's a lock stitch. I don't care for the spot of it. I'm going to show you here in a second how to fix that a little bit, the way that I like to do it. We have some stitches that are kind of not quite right here, or the flow. If you know any of my videos, I'm a big picker um, about how the stitches are flowing, and I'm gonna show you how to fix that. Okay, some stuff's going to digitize pretty well, some things not. It just kind of depends. So all right, so we're done there. Okay, we have the density, we have the pull comp done. Let me just kind of scroll over here a little bit, and then now the lock stitches are already turned on, like I mentioned, stuff like that. But you can go over to connectors and you can check out and make sure that it by default is fine. That the lock stitches that are turned on, the tie-ins and the tie-off lock stitches. Okay, cool. All right. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna to do this. Let's see. We're done. I usually will just go ahead and put the stitch back on, so we have that. Okay. Okay, right now let's check. Oh, okay, here we go. The problem is the object order of the stitch order is actually incorrect, and this will happen as you're doing things sometimes. So it does right now. It's saying it'll do the K, then it'll do this K, then the H, then the C, then the E T. Well, we don't want that. We want it to go traditionally left to right. Let's say. Now, as long as you're in the select object tool, you're able to do this. You could drag and drop inside the color object list. Let's see, I'm going to take the T, I'm going to drag it right between the K and the H and then let go. And then what I'm going to do here, let's see, and then I'm going to take the E and do the same thing between the T and the H, let go, and then now, where's the H? Okay, we're going to move that down here and KTCH. Okay, now it's actually stitching left to right. It's KTECH. So, and then I'm going to make sure I click my little floppy disk and save. And so now I got that part done. Okay, so now we're going to go through and actually change the start and stops. Okay, now if I click on an element and then click on the reshape tool or H on Windows, that'll bring up this mode here, and it brings up, since this toolbar just became alive as I clicked. If I click off it, it disappears, and if I click back on it, it reappears. Okay, so right now it's got the two node for what we want to see, but right now I'm going to turn off the line direction so I could just see the start and stop. And I wish I can actually increase the thickness of this so you could see better, but unfortunately you can't. I'm going to move that over there. Now, of course, now I got to find the start stitch here. Sometimes you have to kind of click off it and click on it. Maybe turn off the 3D mode and see what's available, but um, oh, there it is. Okay, so I usually grab that. Now I usually like to have that diamond right there, and I'm going to zoom in on it so you can see it. I like to have it right in the middle of the stitch, on the startup tie-in stitch. The end I usually will pull off like this, and then if we turn True View back on, or 3D stitches, you'll kind of see that. Okay. That's what I do there. And then what you do here is I want to work on the T, so I'm going to click on the T. So let's go ahead. Up there's the start. I'm going to move that in the middle, and then I'm going to take the end. I'm going to put it there. I always like to start from the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to E. What am I here? Okay, there's my start. I'm going to move that right there, and I'm going to move the end over here. It's just proper way of doing it. Let's see, I'm going to put my start there, and I'm going to end here, and then the H. I'm going to move that into the middle a little bit more, and then I'm going to do that. Okay. All right. So I got that set. Okay now. Okay. So I'm going to do a save. There we go. All right. And now I got my start and stop set properly now, the way I like it. Now the T, the E, the CH look pretty good. I don't really need to do too much touch-ups there. I'm going to click on that. Now we got some, I'm going to turn the edit reshape tool back on. I'm going to click on the line direction, and then, okay, we have some weird stuff going on here. We need to add a few more. You can delete these, by the way. But I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to click on the stitch angle tool, and then I can actually do some lines here. And then when you're done, you just click enter on your keyboard, and now see, now that's fixed. So the flow of the stitches are much better. Okay, sometimes that might happen in this type of scenario with digitizing like this, and you just have to go and correct it. Now let's say I'm going to go back on that tool, and let's say I didn't let's say one that's too much. Okay, I don't necessarily need that one. I highlight that it's blue, hit the delete key, and I actually can get rid of it. Okay, now that flows a little bit better. So sometimes you just have to try different things. Again, sew it out. If it looks good, then don't worry about it. But that's the key factor. But if it doesn't, then you know what you need to do to go in there and kind of tweak it, or tweak it a different way. Okay. I just want to make sure that I have that. Oh, no, I have the, if you, okay, just so you know, if you want to I'm just going to undo. I don't like the vector. Once I'm done with it, I really like to turn it off or get rid of it, either delete. But if you just want to turn it off, just right click and go to hide. And now the vector won't be there, but that's up to you. Okay, I just wanted to show you that trick. Okay, so obviously, okay, all right. We're almost done. Now we just gotta. I always like to. Let's do a one-to-one. No, let's do a fit window, and then now this is the stitch player, and it'll actually show it stitching out before you actually get to the machine. And I'm just watching it, and it's like, oh wow, there's a, for the size factor that this is, that's a little too much of underlay. Okay, so by default, so we're going to turn that off. Okay, make sure that we click on the number one so we have all selected. Then we're going to go to underlay. Okay, now we can see what's actually say here. The 2.2 stitch. I like that stitch. That's usually why I think you're normally it's set at 2.5, which is fine, but I like 2.2. Okay, now there's a zigzag for the size factor that it is way too much, so I'm going to turn that off. And okay, let's go ahead and play this. Let's check it out. Okay, so I'm watching it and not bad. I mean, for the most part, this is okay. I mean, sew it, see how it does. But let's say it's still a little too much. So we go to the number one, we select it, and I'm going to turn off the vary run length and let's try that. Let's see. Or you know what? Maybe let's go to just single run instead of a um, let's see, an edge run, okay, which is basically double stitch. So let's just do a center run, and we'll turn on the variable length. Well, actually, you know what? Turn off the variable length. I want it to be real basic, okay? Try different things, see what works for you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button, and it should just do a nice walk stitch. Okay, okay, that's beautiful. That's probably enough what you need. But again, try different things and definitely turn off the zigzag for sure. That's way too much. But an edge run is fine, in my opinion. But a single run is just as enough too. I at least like a single or a single run or no. Well, it's not activated. Sorry. Let me click off this for a minute and make sure I'm on the. Got to make sure that they're all highlighted. Okay, center run. But I mean, again, I'm okay with an edge run too. But again, check out what works best for you. Okay, all right. So I am good. I'm ready to go. We can actually go ahead and save this. I'm going to go to the export icon, and then obviously whatever you're working with, Melco, Tajima, or Baradin, whatever you're working with, save your machine file and then sew it. Okay. Just make sure you always save your EMB file so you can get back to it in case you need to make any tweaks. And there you go. We'll go to one to one, and I'm ready to stitch that out and see how it looks. Okay, that's pretty much it of this video tutorial, and I appreciate you for stopping by. Please give me a thumbs up, and so I can continue making more videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.